Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to put the intention out there for happy Monday. I know that's not necessarily how everyone describes this day, but I'm glad that you're here and I hope that it's about to get a little bit happier. It's happier in the sense that Shanti and I had a conversation today and she was like, COVID's gone on too long when you're having conversations with your dog. She was like, I'm really the main event. I deserve a front row spot. So she gets her bed front row and center tonight, as she should be. Whoa, Lauren, you're actually live. Yay. I'm so glad you're here. Jennifer, so glad you're here. I think there's a minimal amount of chair poses planned for tonight. CrossFit, yoga, and wine. Not as few as Jamie's Saturday morning class. I think that had 0 chair poses, but probably not as many as outdoor cold yoga yesterday. Hi, Heidi. Glad you're here as well. So as always, well, first off, welcome everyone. I'm Mikki. If you've not practiced with me before, my fluffy, sleepy companion is Shanti. She'll probably just nap for class. Melanie, I'm glad that you love chair. Sofa pose. We could probably come up. I think I might have something for you. We'll work on that. Okay, apparently chair is popular, so there will be some chair pose tonight. Don't worry. The chat is obviously open and functioning to this evening. Hello, Sarah. Yay! I'm glad that. Oh, it is the first day of the month. Happy February. Welcome to a new month. We'll put that intention out there as well. We'll talk about the February challenge after class for those of you that haven't heard about that yet. So that's coming. But obviously the chat is open. If anytime during class you have some problems or issues tonight, feel free just to throw a comment into the chat. I've got it up right here and can see it. Chair does beat plank any day. Way at the top of the chat and also in the description of class, you'll have the link to the playlist if you want some music tonight. And then if you have a couple blocks in your arsenal of tools, I would go ahead and grab those. It's Monday night, and my theme, my intention coming into practice tonight, I actually just did this practice on my own because I needed to gain some control back from my Monday. And so my intention for you tonight is to give attention to what you want to give power to this evening. And in that way, taking a little bit of control back from your Monday if this day did not go as planned or as intended, so that you head into Tuesday and Wednesday feeling a little bit more in control and intentional about your thoughts and approaches to the rest of the week. All right, so that's where we're headed. As always, if you need shapes to accomplish that, great. If you don't need shapes to accomplish that, and you just want to cuddle with your fur children or sit and meditate or lay down and listen to my less than soothing voice, do what you need to do tonight. And if you're using that playlist, you can go ahead and push play. You can give kisses to your fur child if they're in between you and your music device. And let's come on down to your back. As you come on down to your back, let's bend knees, place feet on the floor, feet wide, knees knocked in on each other. And I'm going to invite you to bring hands to your belly. Let's just take a couple really full breaths here, all the way down into those hands. And each and every time you exhale, inviting the parts of you touching the floor to get a little heavier into the ground. Pondering through our practice tonight, that idea that what we give attention to is what we give power to. So just noticing in our still places and in our movement tonight where your attention goes. Here in this moment, are you focusing on the breath? Are you focusing on a sensation somewhere in your body? Even the detail within a shape that we choose to focus on changes the way that we experience it. And so tonight, throughout our practice, being very diligent, very discerning, if you will, about where you allow that attention to land. Now, as you breathe here for these last couple breaths, let's invite a great sense of softening in the inner groin, the inner leg, those inner thighs, just feeling as though they're melting away from your belly button. And noticing if within that release you can create or encourage a slightly greater sense of space to your low back. Happy Monday, Debbie. Glad you're here. And then let's shift those feet back in a little bit to hip width, the knees separate. And we're going to pull your right knee into the chest. Hands are going to wrap around that hamstring. Let's keep that left leg bent for now with the foot on the ground. And then just nice and slowly as you inhale, let's begin to straighten your right leg, taking that right heel toward the ceiling. And then exhale, bend that right knee and use your hands to pull the leg a little closer into the belly. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 1 more time, straighten. And bend. And then we're going to take that right leg, cross it over your left like you're sitting in a chair. If that's not comfortable in your body, then you could figure 4 it instead, ankle on thigh. We're just going to open your arms out to a goalpost or a T. And let's anchor deeply into both shoulders. And as you exhale, we're going to start to roll to the pinky edge of that left foot, letting the knees begin to drift leftward, but just enough that you can still anchor down into your right shoulder. Inhale, come on back up to center. So we're going to dynamically come in and out 2 more times. Exhale into that rotation, knees to the left. Inhale back up. 1 more time. And back up. We're going to come in 1 more time. This time we're going to linger for a couple breaths. So maybe just about halfway to the ground. You're not going to come all the way in because I want you to really stay committed to that heaviness of the right shoulder and the right arm. Let your right hip descend away from your right waist. Big full breath all the way down into the belly. Exhale fully and completely. And then inhale back up to center. As those legs get to center, let's straighten your right leg, kick the right foot up toward the sky. You might even bring that leg in a little closer toward the belly, and then bend your right knee, right foot to the floor. So let's do all of that on the second side. We're going to start a little slowly this evening, but we will get into your beloved chairs and planks, don't you worry. All right, left knee comes in, hands on hamstring. Inhale, straighten that left leg. And I just want you to explore, is this straightening and bending happens, right? Where is your attention? Are you focusing on the foot? Are you focusing on the knee getting fully straight? Are you focusing on the activity of your left quad and hamstring, the actual action of bending and straightening? Are you focusing on your low back? Just noticing, where is your attention directed? Maybe it's nowhere on your mat and you're still pondering something from your day. I encourage you to try to set that aside for now if that's the case. The next time you bend that left leg, let's take your arms out to that T or goal post. Open or cross that left leg over your right, that full cross if you can, figure 4 if it's better. Feel both shoulders connecting to the floor. And then knees will drop to the right as you exhale. Inhale back to center. Easing ourselves into this. We'll dynamically come in and out 2 more times. Back up with your inhale. One more time. And then in we go to hold for a couple of breaths. So again, maybe just about halfway to the ground, but it doesn't even have to be that deep. It could be shallower than that. Just breathing some life back into that outer left hip, the outer left thigh, the outer left waist. Let that left hip descend away from the waist just a bit more. One more full inhale all the way down into those inner thighs. Again, can you feel the inner groins, the inner legs softening away from your belly? Full, complete exhale here. And then come on back to center as you inhale. As those legs get centralized, left leg straightens, left foot to the ground or sky, that other direction straight up. And then we bend the knee and bring the foot to the ground. Words are hard. All right, let's bring both knees into your chest. Reach down, grab onto shins or thighs. We're going to start to rock and roll up and down your spine. And just let yourself roll as much up and down that spine as you would like. And then one of these times, we're just going to roll up and try to catch on your sit bones and your tailbone for that boat pose shape. You can smile about it. It's the only way to get through boat pose. And then back you go. Up and down that spine a couple more times. And we're going to roll up one of these times and catch once again. This time, maybe lifting those shins parallel to the ground. Maybe releasing your hands, reaching toward the feet. Maybe drawing those inner ankles to touch. And just imagine that you're hugging something between your legs. Heart high, shoulders back. And then let's cross your ankles and roll over onto hands and knees, coming into your tabletop shape. I love that Shanti convinced me to put her bed here and then she just pieced out. She normally lays in her bed all of class where you can't see her, but when she was on camera, she was like not into it. All right, here we go. Table pose. Inhale, cow pose, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head. Exhale, round your spine. Let your head fall forward. 2 more times, just nice and regular like that. Cow pose. Whatever regular cow and regular cat is. Musketeer, are you a regular cat? Definitely not. One more time, cow pose. And cat pose. So we're going to come toward that table shape. We are going to continue that motion of cat cow, but we're going to take that right leg back to straight toes on the ground. Let's do 3 more rounds of that cat cow shape with that right leg straight back behind you, like a little kickstand. I want you to really keep the effort of that right leg pressing back, like the baseboard of your wall is right there, and you could push that right heel into the floor the whole time. Just starting to breathe some life back into the pelvis, especially if you sat and that low back and pelvis just got really stagnant throughout the day. Now, the next time you inhale, we're just going to switch right knee down, left leg back, same thing. 3 rounds. Belly down, heart lifts, cow, that heel pressing back. Exhale, rounding. This is the one where the heel will want to press forward and just try to keep pushing back. 2 more. And uno más. And we'll bend that left knee, bring it back into table. Let's take your hands as wide as your yoga mat. Index fingers pointing out toward 1 and 11, or maybe even 2 and 10. Let's tuck your toes under, hips up and back. Down dog with a really wide arm setup. So you just get all kinds of space for your shoulders. Let your head hang between those arms. Let your neck breathe and release. Let that jaw move a little side to side. And then let's take your feet as wide as your yoga mat as well. And we're going to spin your toes in and your heels out just a tiny, tiny bit. And again, those inner thighs, that inner groin space, let it soften and melt back. Trying to create from there a deep, deep release in the belly. And then spin those heels and feet back to parallel. Walk the feet into hip width. And inhale, let's come forward into plank. Put a little smile on your face, just like boat pose. The only way to get through it is to breathe and to smile and to be in control of where your attention goes. If you need to put the knees down, put the knees down. If you need to come onto forearms, come onto forearms. Heels pressing back, crown of head lengthening forward, and just start to feel how each of the sections of your body comes back online, especially if they've sort of turned off for the day. And then let's take those hips up and back. And we're going to start to walk your feet all the way forward toward your hands. Feet hip width, maybe even a little bit wider. Soft bend to your knees. And let's completely fold and release over your legs. Arms might drape. You might grab opposite arms or elbows. Feel gravity trickling down your spine all the way through the neck and the back of the head. And then let's bend your knees quite a bit. Roll up inch by inch by inch. As you come upright, big ol' reach to the sky. And then we're just going to let those hands drop down by your sides. We're going to take your right arm into the small of the back. Right hand's going to grab your left bicep tricep zone. And let's drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Try to move both of those shoulder tips back, shoulder heads back. And then let your head float right back up on top of the spine. Release that right arm and just switch. Left arm in the small of the back, grabbing your upper right arm. Right ear to right shoulder. Deep breaths into the spaces that need your attention. And then head floats up. Arms release. Inhale, 2 arms to the sky. And exhale, let's fold. Now we're going to do something in this round with our lunges that you might want blocks. If you've got them, grab them, put them underneath your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, fingers on blocks or shins. And then exhale, let's fold and take your left leg back into your lunge. We're going to bend that back knee. Just barely let it tap the ground. It can come down, but don't feel like we're going to stay here for a long time, all right? So with hands on floor or blocks, let's go ahead and start to very intentionally and slowly straighten that back leg, focusing more on engagement of quad than just straightening of knee. And then let's switch to that front leg. We're going to let the front leg straighten any amount. Doesn't matter how far it gets. Bend the front knee. And then bend your back knee. I'm going to recommend you just go ahead and close your eyes and move a little bit more inward with this. So let's straighten that back leg, maybe that inhale there. Straighten the front leg. Maybe you exhale there. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, bend the back knee. Let's go through that one more time. Back leg straightens. Front leg straightens. Front leg bends. And back leg bends. Let that knee come all the way down. Left hand stays grounded, right hand to the sky. You can stay there, or you can pull that left leg in toward the backside. Reach back with your hand, grab foot, pull foot in toward hand, roll that right shoulder open. Maybe look toward the back of your mat. And then we'll release the back foot with the toes tucked under. Right hand comes back outside your right foot. Let's plant hands flat on floor or blocks. Lift that back knee and back you go. Downward facing dog. Doesn't need to be graceful, just find a way. If you would like to be a little more still tonight, here you are. Or inhale. Let's roll forward to plank. Knees up or down. If it's newer to you, I'm going to recommend knees down. Elbows point straight back as you lower. This is called chaturanga. All the way to the belly. Untuck those toes and lift the heart and shoulders away from the ground. Very little weight in the hands. They can pull back, but try not to push down. Cobra pose. Exhale, lower forehead. Push into hands and knees. Come on up, table. And downward facing dog. Left leg lifts to the sky. And foot forward between your hands. Grab those blocks if it's helpful. They could be all the way up on the high side if that's what you need. Just make your arms the length that you need. Mine happen to be particularly long monkey arms, so your block height might be different. All right, back knee taps to the ground. Go ahead and just close those eyes, and we'll go through this 3 more times. This side. So back leg straightens, front leg straightens, front leg bends, back leg bends. Match it with your breath. 2 more times. Back leg straightens, front leg straightens, front leg bends, and back leg bends. Last round. Straightening, straightening, bend, bend. Let that back knee come all the way down. Right hand stays, left hand goes up. You might just stay with the rotation. You might start to pull that back leg toward the bottom. Hand goes to grab the foot. That works. If not, give your foot its personal space. Tonight, let's pull the foot in toward the backside. Maybe look toward the back of the mat. And then we'll release that back foot. Left hand goes up, forward, and down. Tuck those back toes under, lift the knee. We're going to step that right foot forward next to the left. You can get rid of blocks if you would like. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. This is for everyone that loves chair. Here you are. This is a bonus chair, just for all of you that like it. Hands at heart or hands to sky. Let's inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, bend those knees, sit on back to chair. Feel the quadriceps working, the front of the legs working as you straighten the legs. The back of the legs working as you bend the knees. 2 more. Inhale, straighten. And bend as you exhale. 1 more time. Straighten. And bend. Now this time we're going to straighten those legs, swing those arms down and back behind you. We're going to clasp the hands this time. If that doesn't work in your body, I'll show you your option in a moment. So fingers webbed, bend those elbows. Let's bring the hands and that clasp over to your left waist. If that doesn't work for you, you'll repeat what we did last time. Right hand grabbing left upper arm. If you've got the clasp, pull the elbows toward each other, left ear toward left shoulder. Full complete breath. Soften where you need to. Create space where you need to. And then head will come back up to center. Hands will straighten down and back, and you'll just swing it over to the other side. Right ear, right shoulder. Head back to center. Hands and arms back behind you into that clasp. Sit down into chair. If you don't have the clasp, two-fisted hands like a little superhero cape. We're going to fold over those chair legs. Let the arms fall away from your body. Try not to push them or force them away. Just soften. Be less concerned about where the hands are, right? Try not to let the focus reside there. And more focused on how you're creating space around those shoulders and upper back. And then release those hands around your feet. Straighten your legs, slide the fingers up the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, we'll fold and step your right leg back. Come on up to crescent lunge this time, back knee off the ground. As you come on up, let's root into that left big toe, straighten your front leg. We're going to keep that front leg straightened as you fold. Hands reach down, maybe back. They could also come to the ground if balance feels wobbly tonight. Inhale, bend your front knee and rise back up. Hands to the sky. Let's do that 2 more times. Straightening, folding, reaching back if you can. Bend the front knee. Inhale, hands come up. 1 more time. Straighten and fold. Bend and lift. And then hands come down around your front foot. We step back to downward facing dog. Always the invitation and the option to stay. Or inhale, plank. Knees up or down, chaturanga. Baby cobra as you inhale. Back to the belly as you exhale. Up through table or plank, inhale. And downward facing dog. Exhale. Right leg lifts as you breathe in. Footsteps forward as you breathe out. We rise. Crescent lunge. Straighten that front leg. Fold over the front leg. Hands go down, maybe back. Bend the front knee. Rise on up. 2 more. Coming on up. Are you focusing on the part that feels stable, or are you focusing on the part that feels unstable? Are you focusing on the part that gives you strength and power, or the part that feels defeating? What are you giving power to? Hands come down around your front foot. Left foot steps forward next to your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Come on up into chair. As you find your chair, let's take your arms forward, parallel to the ground. Palms turn up. Now, if you're not someone who loves chair, you can do what we're about to do with legs straight. If you're like, chair pose, yes, here it is. Left arm on bottom, crisscross those arms, bend your elbows, and either palms press, back of hands press, or a hug, your choice. Let that tailbone be heavy, hips heavy. Sit back toward those heels. Let the upper arms and the elbows lift away from your chest. And then we're going to release those arms, bow over those legs, let the hands reach up toward the sky. You might choose to clasp the hands, you might keep them free. And then back we come into chair. Arms forward, palms up. Right arm on bottom, full crisscross. Bend your elbows, palms back of hands or hug. Hips heavy, elbows up and away. Remember, you don't have to be in chair. You can be in a standing desk. It's the ergonomical option. One more breath here. And body folds, hands reach back. And then let those hands come to the shins. Halfway lift. Exhale, let's fold. Plant your hands, and we're going to make our way back to down dog. You might choose to go through that plank chaturanga cobra shape. You might just stroll back to downward facing dog. Now, once you find that down dog, we're going to do something a little bit different. I don't think we do this very often in yoga and bear. So you might love it, you might hate it. Just give it a try, like Brussels sprouts. We're going to walk your feet in a little closer, maybe just 6 inches closer to your hands. Put a little bend in both knees. Left hand's going to stay where it's at and stable. We're going to take that right arm, drag it underneath your body, and grab the outer left ankle. And then pull yourself underneath that left arm. Just one full breath here. I won't make you hold it very long. And then switch. Right hand back to down dog. Left arm draws underneath, over to the outer right ankle. Grab on. Pull yourself underneath that right arm. Let that head hang. And then come back to normal down dog. Wiggle those feet back to their normal placement. And let's take your right leg up to the sky. And then step your right foot forward between your hands. Come on up, crescent lunge. Fix your pants. Hands up to the sky. And then we're going to bring your hands down into your heart. We're going to tip a little forward, leaning and propelling over that front leg. Let's put a little bend in that back knee, just a tiny one. Power up that back leg, re-straighten it. How about 2 more times? Bend and straighten. One more time. As you bend the knee, push that right heel down into the ground, pull back, and then re-straighten that back leg. We're going to rotate around your waist, left elbow down, right elbow up. You can hover the elbow over the thigh. You can put it on top of the thigh, or you can put it outside the thigh. If any of you are feeling a little fatigued today, back knee can come down to the ground. Great option here. Wherever you're at, get long from back heel through crown of head. Maybe challenge yourself by looking up over that right shoulder. And then with your exhale, untwist, hands to the floor. And let's go ahead and straighten that front leg. Blocks could be helpful here. Those of you that would like to keep 2 feet on the ground, here's your option. Those of you that would like to come forward towards standing leg lift, aka standing splits, up you come onto that right leg, left leg takes flight. Doesn't matter how high that left leg is. Focus on the strength, the stability of that right standing leg. I'm going to give one more option for those of you that are feeling adventurous tonight. Maybe one hand comes to the back of that right calf if you're in balance. Maybe 2 hands. What? Whatever happens, happens. Final breath wherever you're at. And then let's end up back in your crescent lunge, 2 feet on the floor, front knee bent, hands to the sky. Hands to the back of your head, thumbs on your occipital ridge, so that bottom bony ridge of the skull. Use those thumbs to lengthen up as you let the head fall back into your hands. And then use the hands. Whoop, bring that head back up. Hands around your front foot. Back you go. Downward facing dog. Maybe you stay put. Maybe you bring knees to the floor in child's pose for a few breaths. Maybe you roll forward into plank for that vinyasa. We'll meet up in downward facing dog within the next couple of breaths. When you're ready, we'll take left leg lifted up. And left foot forward between your hands. A musketeer. Come on up, crescent lunge. Hands come upward. Hands to heart, leaning forward. Little tip over that front thigh. Back knee's gonna bend. And straighten. Bend. Hey, buddy. And straighten. Final round here, feel that left heel root down and gently pull back. Straighten that right leg. Rotating around your waist, right elbow down, left elbow up. You can hover, you can tap, you can latch. Back knee can always come down to the ground if that's the better option for you this evening. Steady the breath. Maybe you look up over that left shoulder. See what your balance wants tonight. And then hands come down around your front foot. Straighten that front leg. Use blocks under your hands if it's helpful. And then if you want to transition into that one-legged work, hands come forward, weight shifts into that left foot, right leg lifts. Please, please don't let the focus be on how high that right leg gets. It really does not matter. Feel that stability of that left leg. Those of you that maybe explored balance on the first side, if you still think that's a good idea, one or both hands shift onto that calf. If you fall out, just means you tried. And we'll bend that front knee, bringing yourself back into your crescent pose. Hands on the back of the head, thumbs helping to lengthen the back of the neck. Let the head fall into the hands. If it's too much on your pecs and inner shoulder, wrap those elbows closer toward the head. Hands around your front foot. And let's step forward, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And let's just wrap your hands around the back of your legs. Some of you will just kind of do a full hug. Some of you will just place hands on the back of the ankles or the calves. What I want you to encourage here is that head to release as you draw your shoulders away from the ears and up the back, creating the longest neck you've ever had. Bend your knees. Let's move your hands to the front of your legs. Walk your hands up all the way to Tadasana, mountain pose. Standing tall, let's go arms by your sides, palms forward, thumbs out and slightly back. Spread out through your fingertips so that all of your digits, all 4 of your limbs feel vibrant, feel awake, feel purposeful. And then let's blink your eyes open if they've closed. Find a still point to stare out in front of you. We're going to shift into your right foot. Bring your left knee up. Let's put your hands on the hamstring of that left leg. Shoulders back, but not leaning back, just nice and stacked. Let's take your attention into that left quad. Nice and slow, begin to engage that left quad and start to straighten that left leg. Be a little less concerned about the foot, a little less concerned about the knee. Just feel that power of your upper left leg. And then slow and steady, feel the hamstring re-engage in that left leg. Bend the knee. Firm your outer right hip in. Hands to heart. Heart forward, left leg back. Warrior 3. Let's put a little tiny bend into that right knee. And then engage that right leg, that right quad as you re-straighten. And then let's put a little bend into your left leg. And like you're going to kick something away from you, re-straighten the leg. Sorry, Seville just messaged me. The theme of this class. Come all the way back into your lunge. Rule of the long bone. Nailed it, Seville. Ground your back heel, yoga teacher jokes. Open up, warrior 2. Let's reach that right hand way, way, way forward. Now, those of you that are feeling a little on the fatigue side tonight, right elbow, right thigh, give yourself that support, right left hand to the sky. If you have a little bit more juice to go, we're just going to straighten that right hand or right arm so the hand is inside the ankle. There's not going to be any weight on that right hand. You're going to root into that right big toe and begin to straighten your right leg, triangle pose. So you could be here, here, here. Wherever you're at, get broad across your arms. Active, active, active up those 2 legs. Maybe take that right hand, slide it a little further down the leg if you've got the space. And then bend that front knee if it's straightened. Come up into that reverse. Left hand down the back leg, right hand up and back. Lots of breath, lots of space into that whole outer right waist, outer right hip. And then hands come down around your front foot. Come onto the ball of the back foot. And let's step forward, front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let the hands press into the back of your calves here for a moment. Shoulders glide up toward the ceiling as your head releases. You do not need to lift your spine to do that. See if you can just really isolate that strength of the upper back. Jaw is released. Head is heavy. Hands to the front of the legs as you bend those knees. Walk your hands up the thighs. We're going to stop with the hands on the tops of the thighs and get them all up nice, close, and personal there. All the way up into the hip crease. Push down with your hands. Let the inner thighs, the inner groins get heavy. That tailbone heavy. Deep, deep breath into the whole kind of structure of the base of your spine, the pelvis. And then let's slowly release that. Straighten your legs. Arms just turn open, palms forward, thumbs out, shoulders broad, heart high, eyes steady in front of you. When you're ready, let's shift into that left leg. Bring your right knee up. Hands below that hamstring, home stretch here. Feel the stack of the body, the height of the top of the head. Worrying less about the foot and how high it gets. Really allowing the focus to be in that activity of your right quad, creating the length, the straightening of the leg. And then switch that focus into the right hamstring. Actively recreate that bend of the leg. Hands sneak to heart. Right leg goes back. Sorry, Jen, I guess this is a little chair CrossFit as well. In a different way. All right, once you're flying, little bend of that left knee. Activate quad, feel that left leg straighten. Right leg bends. And straightens. All the way back into your crescent lunge. Ground that back heel. Warrior 2. Long reach forward through the left hand, the left fingers. Option 1, left elbow, left thigh, right hand toward the sky. Option 2, arm straightens, left hand comes down inside the ankle. No weight on the hand. Option 3, left leg slowly, with intention, with power, straightens. Maybe that left hand comes a little closer toward the ground. And then we're going to bend that front knee all the way up into that reverse. And the hands come down around that front foot. We are going to step back into your downward facing dog. Final option for vinyasa here this evening, plank, chaturanga, back bend. Maybe you come up a little higher, back to the belly. And back you go. Downward facing dog. Now from your down dog, we're going to bring our feet forward to our hands and then lower ourselves to a seat. If you would like to hop your way forward or through to a seat, you can, or you can walk forward and sit down. As you find that seat, let's take your hands back behind you. Fingers pointing toward the hips, maybe turned out just a bit. This is for you, Cheryl and Jerry. All right, heart high, shoulders back. This might be your pose here. You don't have to lift your hips, especially if you are taking care of unhappy shoulders. Or we're going to start to push into those feet, lift your hips. It's called reverse tabletop, but for most of us, it kind of looks like a saggy couch cushion. So there you go, Cheryl and Jerry, there's your sofa pose. COVID sofa, a little saggy couch cushion. Those of you that can get belly and thighs parallel to the ground, great. But instead of feeling hunched, the focus of this, whether hips are down or high, is to really free up the front of the shoulder, heart, the chest. One more breath wherever you're at. And then nice and slow, down you go. Try to keep that heart high, hips heavy and down. Hands are going to come to the backs of your thighs. Lean back. Heart still high. Feet come off the ground. Boat pose. Left leg straightens. Maybe. It's an option. And bend. Straighten. And bend. You've got one more on each side, or if you just really want to go for it, both legs straighten. Whee, and bend. Straighten. And bend. That's enough. Cross those legs. Sukhasana, crisscross applesauce. Big reach up toward the ceiling. And right elbow or right hand to the ground, left arm up and over. Give yourself a nice little side bend here. Deep, deep breath into that outer left waist, that left hip rooting, grounding all the way down. We'll come on back up to center. Take a little rotation toward that right knee. And let's walk your hands out on the diagonal, that 45-degree from center, so that your belly comes down toward that right knee. As those hands walk away, push the weight back toward that left hip. Now, if you have a block, I'll show it so that you know the option is there. And there is a block tall enough in the world to support your forehead. That can be a nice way to ground in here. Take the attention somewhere intentional. If you need a place to put the attention, this doesn't have to be where it goes, but if you need a place, I like to focus in around that left hip and all of the tissues there, and just feel things gradually, subtly unwinding, subtly releasing. One more full breath here. Walk your hands in toward that right knee. Gently ease yourself upright, come to center. We're going to take those hands back behind you, release the legs out straight. I won't make you do that saggy couch cushion again. Just a little rotation, a little flippy flop of those legs. If you love reverse table, reverse plank, you're welcome to stick another one in. And then let's recross, other leg in front if you can remember. If you can't, make it up. Just own it like you remember. Left hand, left elbow to the ground beside you, whichever one makes sense for your body. Right arm up and over. So much that happens around us is out of our control, especially Mondays. Just like hurricane sometimes. But with diligence, with practice, we do have control over that interior space, what we allow inside, what we give focus, and what we give power to. To push the ground away, we're going to take that little turn, that rotation toward that left knee, and allow yourself to fold forward. Again, maybe you bring a block beneath the head if it feels nice. Hands crawl forward, but weight pushes back toward that right hip. So whatever happened today, whatever is happening in your life ongoing right now, be really diligent about where you settle the attention right now. What you give power, what you give presence and attention to. what you invite into this space. Allow this next exhale to invite you to feel just a little heavier, a little more settled into the shape. And then ease yourself on up. Back to center. Let's release those legs out in front of us one more time. Little swivel, little sway. And we're going to swing those legs. Well, I guess they're not going to swing around. I'm going to swing around. You're probably just fine. We're going to get rid of anything that's in your way that's going to be distracting. We're going to start to prepare ourselves for that final resting shape. So maybe you grab a jacket, maybe you turn some lights down, maybe you grab something to cover your face. And let's come on down to your back here. And as you come down onto your back, we're just going to bend those knees into the chest and give the legs a hug. You could hold hamstrings or shins. Sometimes it feels nice to hug the arms around the legs. And I want you just to start to take the attention to the low back. We're going to start to find just a really gentle kind of sway, if you will, roll side to side. But I would like it to be slow enough that you can feel each quarter inch of weight shift across the back. As you lean a little to the left, and then gradually back through center, and gradually over to the right. How microscopic can you make the shift? How slow can you be here? How much can you feel? If you would prefer to continue exploring this for maybe a few more breaths in happy baby instead, reach up, grab those ankles or the feet. Nice and gentle, nice and slow. When you feel ready to just release that, legs can come out to straight or feet to ground, feet wide, knees together, just like we started. Letting your focus really settle inward. Even in our place of stillness and rest, being diligent about where the attention goes, what you give power and space to. Again, to take slightly deeper breaths here. And just give a few moments to notice the details of your space at the completion of your practice here tonight. Maybe the subtle details of that inner landscape that feel a little bit more connected to now. Maybe you start to notice the space around you again, the sounds. I've got a chorus of frogs outside. And just as you feel ready to begin moving your body once again, just nice and easy, nice and slow. Really intentional movement back in. Each little bit of movement, each breath, just a planting of a seed of what you want to give attention to, what you want to give intention to and power to. And without any rush or any hurry, guiding yourself back up toward a comfortable seat. As you find that seat, letting the palms come together in front of your heart. Carrying everything that you found for yourself in your practice tonight with you, for yourself as a gift, and to everyone you connect with along the way. Thank you all so much for practicing together tonight. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm glad you were here with us this Monday night. Thank you, Musketeer, for your lovely assistance. Couple quick things before you head off. So if you haven't seen or downloaded it yet, today is the very first day. I'm going to follow Jamie's lead and move up closer. You can get my post yoga hair. So we are starting for the month of February. It's kind of like the summer passport, but it's just for February and it's on your own. So it's honor system, right? Don't lie, don't cheat because you only cheat yourself, right? That's what they say about cheating. So 6 classes, live stream, recorded, or the couple in person that we have gets you 1 entry into win some prizes. 9 between now and the end of February gets you 2 entries. So join us. There's a phone tracker and a print tracker. You can download that online. It's cheersandnamaste.com/challenge. So there's that. Please join us. It's gonna be super fun. We've got hoodies and flannels up for grabs for the prizes, and we have gift cards to all of our Salem and Portland favorite breweries and restaurants and just places. So it's gonna be super fun. Please join us. Sarah, it was a little tough tonight. I warned you it was gonna start slow and then got a little tricky. Thank you, Jacob, for being here. Thank you, Jamie, so much. Karen, thank you so much. So grateful for you. Thanks for your email today. Lori, that was playlist was what I was feeling today for jams. Thank you, Howard and Debbie, Nicole. Thank you so much. Jamie, Colette, thank you so much as well. One last thing. Oh, April, yay. So glad you were here. I'm excited for the February challenge too. Glad you were here. One more thing before you head off. Those of you that are in or around Salem or just like to support Salem, we are doing a gathering of hygiene wipes for the next 2 weeks for Free Fridge Salem, which has pantries all over Salem for our neighbors that need a little extra support with food or resources. So we are gathering packets of hygiene wipes or donations for hygiene wipes. So if you're in Salem, you can just take hygiene wipe donations to the Ike box in Salem. There's a box there that was filled up today, which is so cool. You can also donate money next Monday or the following Monday for these Monday night classes. 100% of donations the next 2 Mondays will go to Free Fridge Salem for those hygiene wipes. And then we also, it went out in an email on Friday, but we also have an Amazon wish list so you can just buy them and send them to us and we'll take them to Ike for you. So that's it. I hope you all have a lovely evening. Take care, everyone. Lauren, it was good to have you here. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. And we've got Yulia Wednesday at noon and Yulia Saturday at 10 a.m. And then I'll be back with you next Monday night. Good night, everyone.